Alright guys, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. I want to apologize ahead of time for those of you who thought there would be some type of dubstep music in the background. Unfortunately, not that type of tutorial, but without further ado guys, let's go ahead and get right into it. So Kali Linux, and if you're not familiar with it, Kali Linux is a Linux distro that's kind of driven towards security, has a lot of security applications on it. Now what Kali Nethunter Edition does, it allows you to have those same features on a mobile device, giving you a portable penetration testing device. Now this Kali Nethunter Edition is exclusively available for these following devices. So it's primarily the Nexus devices you see here, and I do believe they have it available for the 1+1 device. Now there is some prerequisites that we got to take care of in order to get that Kali Linux Nethunter Edition installed on the tablet or phone itself. Now you must be running either Lollipop or Marshmallow. Device needs to be rooted and the bootloader needs to be unlocked. Now that's what we'll be doing in this tutorial, and we'll be taking care of that. And in this tutorial, we'll be using a Nexus 7 2013 tablet edition. This is the one I have right here. And just full disclosure, the one I'm using right now, it has a cracked screen and digitizer, so the struggle is real, people. And if you do not have one of these devices, you can actually find one of these on Amazon for a relatively good price. Here's one for $109. The newer one is $149 with LTE. Why mess around? Or you can get the phone on Amazon.com, $169. So that's neither here nor there, guys. Let's go ahead and get right into it. So we want to download a couple things before we start. One of those things being the Nexus Root Toolkit. Now I have that link available for you in the download or in the comments section. And then we also want to download something called, we want to download the Kali Nethunter ISO. So if you scroll down to the bottom and you see your device here. Now I'm running Nexus 7 2013 Lollipop. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and download now. And we'll wait for that to finish up, and then we'll go from there. Now I wanted to quickly add real quick, and I know a lot of you might be familiar with the process, but if you want to verify the version of Android you're running, simply put, all you're doing is you're going to go to your settings, and then you're going to go to About System or About Tablet, and it should tell you what version of Android you are running here. And if you click on it, it'll give you the whole the little icon that tells you, hey, you're running Lollipop. So that being said, our next step that we want to do is we want to enable developer mode on this device. Now this can be done very easily. All you got to do is click on build number, and in my situation it's already enabled, but if you keep on clicking it, it'll tell you once that mode has been enabled. I think it's 6 times or I think it's 8 times. I'm not 100% sure, but if you keep on clicking, it'll get it for you. So once that's done, you're going to see the option for developer options, and you want to make sure that's enabled. Now our next step is we want to go to what we like to call our storage settings. So we're going to go back up and scroll, and we see our storage settings here. And what we want to do is we want to enable what we like to call MTP mode. So USB computer connection, and we want to make sure that media device is enabled as MTP. Alright, so we have one last step we have to do. Let's go ahead and plug in our device one more time. Or if you haven't, or if you unplugged it, plug it back in. If it's already plugged in, don't worry. And then what we want to do is we want to go back to developer options again. And so we're going to settings, go to developer options, and we're going to go ahead and enable USB debugging mode onto this. Now you can hit OK. Now some of you might get an alert that actually states that, hey, it's from RSA to allow debugging from this computer, something similar to that. Click always allow from this computer, and then you hit OK. That's basically allowing your computer, or Android authorizing your computer to access the information on your Android device without no problems, which is going to be necessary for us to unroot the device and unlock the bootloader. Alright, so our next step is going to be, we want to go to the Nexus Root Toolkit. Now, like I said, I have the link for that below if you guys want to download it. It's available from this website as well. That's the source. So once we've downloaded that, we're going to go back to our desktop where I saved mine, and we're going to go ahead and launch that application and hit install and let that thing do its thing. Now, apparently the version that I have available is a little bit older, but for the sake of this actual tutorial, we're just going to hit cancel on it. And now it's asking us what version of Android we are running, so we're going to go ahead and select that we're running the Wi-Fi tablet Nexus 7 2013 edition. And it's going to ask us to verify the version of Android that we are running. So simply put, just to double check to be on the safe side, we're going to go ahead and go back to our Nexus device, and let's go ahead and just verify what version of Android we're running. So just go back, and we're going to About Tablet, and we are running version 5.02. So again, we're just going to go ahead and select version 5.02 and hit apply. Now this is something we already went through already, so we've already enabled USB debugging. Okay. We also have enabled MTP for USB connection settings, and we're going to hit OK. And again, it's asking us to upgrade to the newer version. In this instance, just hit cancel. And it's going to ask us to download some files and dependencies. Now this might take some time depending on your internet connection. So we're going to go ahead and pause here and let this thing do its thing, and it'll come back once it's all wrapped up. So once the process has been completed, you should have a screen that looks similar to what I'm looking at right here. Now if you downloaded the latest version, this might be a little bit different, but that being said, we want to do the most important part, which is the initial setup for driver installation guide. So let's go ahead and click on that. So now it's asking us to plug in your device in with USB Debugging Mode enabled, and that's within our developer options. So let's double check and make sure we have that enabled. So let's go ahead and go to developer options. As you can see, USB Debugging Mode is enabled on this device. So that's one thing we can check off the list. Launch Device Manager using the buttons below. And select uninstall of any. Select uninstall. Check the boxes for any devices that are any drivers tied down to the Nexus device. So launch Device Manager, and we're going to scroll down. And I guess we can just kind of look for. Okay, so we have anything here? Nope. System devices. Nope, not seeing anything there. Oh, there's an Android device right there, so we're going to hit it uninstall. And it's asking us to delete driver software as well for this device. Or let's double check and make sure it says that. So it's to make it sure. So again, it's verifying us or telling us to make sure we delete the drivers and softwares for this device. So hit OK. And then hit OK, and it's asking us to unplug your device and launch the USB review using the button below. So we've unplugged our device, and we're clicking on this right here. And again, it's asking us to delete anything related to Android in essence. So I'm seeing one here for Google USB drivers. So we're going to go ahead and hit uninstall, hit OK. And are we seeing anything for Nexus 7? So we're seeing a couple things here for Nexus 7, so we're going to go ahead and hit uninstall, select the drivers, hit yes, on uninstall, select the drivers, yes. What else? Anything related to Samsung here? Okay, not seeing anything related to Samsung. Google ADB drivers. Alright, I'm not seeing anything related to that or anything else that resembles your Nexus device. In particular, look for any devices with the vendor ID 18D1. So let's look for vendor devices. And here we have one from Google right here as well. So we're going to hit uninstall. Boom. And 04 see if we see anything for that one as well. And we are not seeing anything for that one. So again, like I said, this is kind of the more tedious process because it has to be, it's pretty meticulous as far as what it wants you to uninstall from your computer. So that being said, I verified and made sure that everything is good. I'm just going to do a double check to make sure everything's all set. And then once we've done that, I'm just going to go ahead and close this out. And I'm going to hit no on this one right here. And then once we've done that, it's asking us to reboot the computer. So we're going to go ahead and reboot the computer, and then we'll start it back up. Alright, so we have rebooted the computer, and so we're going to go ahead and click on the full driver installation guide again, and we're going to go ahead and click on step 2. So now it's asking us to disable USB debugging, so we're going to go ahead and start doing that. Alright, so let's go ahead and go to our developer options, or if you're not already there, go into settings, developer options, and then we're going to go to USB debugging. We're going to turn that off. Boom. Alright, so let's go back to our computer. And then, so say let's go to settings, table USB debugging, and then plug in your device. So we're going to go ahead and plug in the device. Boom. And it's going to see it. And wait a few minutes so you see your computer auto configure MTP, which it already has right here. So under settings, storage, from the storage settings within Android, you want to disable or uncheck MTP. So let's go ahead and do that now. So let's go ahead and go to our Nexus device again, and then we're going to go to storage, USB computer connection, and then we want to disable that. Oh, we got a little error here. Alright, boom. And then we want to go ahead and re-enable MTP settings. So, boom. And then we want to go ahead and re-enable USB debugging mode. So we're going back to developer options. And we're enabling USB debugging. Hit OK. Boom. And now our last step needs to be, and actually we're seeing that your Nexus device is ready to use. So our next step now is going to be launch Explorer, and we want to make sure that we can actually see our Nexus device. So we're going to go to computer, and as you can see, our portable Nexus 7 device, internal storage, everything's accessible, everything's good. So once that's completed, they're asking us to go to step 3. And so basically it's saying choose a driver solution. If recommended one doesn't work, try number 4. So we're going to go ahead and click on the Google drivers. So go ahead and click on those. Boom. And just to read it for you guys, it says this will fully automate the installation of the official Google ADB/fastboot drivers. These are the latest version available, taken directly from the SDK. Accept the driver installation when prompted. So we're going to hit OK, hit next, and we're going to go ahead and hit select Always Trust Software from Google Inc., hit install. And this may take some time, guys. I do apologize. And we're going to hit finish. And of course, asking us to reboot the computer, so we're going to go ahead and do that, and we'll start back up once it's completed. Alright, so the computer has been rebooted, so we're going to go ahead and launch the Nexus Root Toolkit again. And as you can see, it's starting up some of the services. And we're going to get that message again to update to the latest version, hit cancel. Alright, so once you have opened the Nexus root toolkit application, we're gonna go ahead and go right back to the initial setup again, full driver installation guide, and we're gonna go ahead and click on step 4. Now this is kind of the moment of truth. It's gonna tell you, basically it's gonna test and make sure that the drivers are working properly on your computer and your computer is able to communicate with the Nexus device properly in order for us to be able to root it and unlock the bootloader. So let's go ahead and start that process up. So we're going to go ahead and click the full driver test, and we want to make sure that your Nexus device is actually fully unlocked. So I'm going to make sure mine is fully unlocked, and we're going to go ahead and hit the full driver test. Now this might take some time, anywhere from 2 to 3 minutes. Let's go ahead and let this run. Now at this point your Nexus device should be rebooting. You should see that little Android guy with his stomach open, so it's doing its thing right now. And it's checking the fast boot connectivity. And now it's should be rebooting your device now, and it's going to be waiting for your device as we see here. Apologize ahead of time, guys. I'm fighting a cold, so I might sound a little sniffly when I'm recording this, but really wanted to get this out for you guys, so I am a soldier. So now the device is rebooting. So it's still waiting for your device. And again, this could vary from device to device, how long it's going to take. And now you can see we're able to access the file storage system. And at this point, your device should be up and running. So, as you can see, my device is back up and running. And let me see if my mouse can I can connect to it. Like I said before, guys, I have a cracked screen. So I have a wireless keyboard and wireless mouse hooked up to my Nexus device. Who's better than me? Alright, so if we go back to our computer, we can see that it was a success and that the drivers are working properly. Alright, so our next step now is going to be to root the device so we can install 2 additional applications so we can actually load the Kali Nethunter edition onto the device. Now, I know initially in the tutorial we had said we're going to unlock the bootloader. Now this process is pretty straightforward. Mine is already unlocked on my device. If yours is not unlocked, you can actually do it through this button right here. This will unlock the bootloader, but it will wipe your entire device, so that is something you can use at your discretion. Now a lot of the instructions that I've read on the internet do not require that you unlock the bootloader, but I am not 100% sure. And if anybody has the answer for that, leave it in the comments below. But what we're going to go ahead and do now is we're going to go ahead and root the device. So let's go ahead and get started on that. So let's go ahead and turn on our device, and we're just going to go ahead and unlock it. My mouse is acting up. Alright, cool. So we're going to go ahead and click root. And basically, again, it's a kind of a discretion. It's telling you this script is designed to help you root your device and also flash a custom recovery to it. Rooting your device will give you full administrative access to it. Kind of just read through the whole device, guys, but we're going to go ahead and hit OK. So hit OK. Boom. And now at this point, your device should be rebooting. Now it's rebooting your device into bootloader mode. Now this process might take some time, guys, so just bear with me on this one. Alright, so once we have this screen open up here, we want to verify that we actually have root access on our Nexus device. So simply put, let's go back to our Nexus device, and let's verify that we have super user permissions on the computer or on the Nexus device. So we're going to the menu, and you should see to the right super SU. Click on that, and it should show that you have basically root access in essence. So Right now I have my application for for screen streaming. That's how I'm able to display my screen on my computer for this tutorial. So once that's done, guys, we want to download a couple additional applications for this device. So first application we want to download is going to be something called BusyBox. So simply put, go to the Google Play Store and type in BusyBox, and we're going to go ahead and install that and let that do its thing. And once that's installed, we're going to hit open. And we're going to go ahead and hit grant access for super user permissions. So, let's hit grant. And then we're going to hit install. And that's good to go. And then we want to download one more additional application. So let's go back to our Play Store. And it's going to be TWRP Manager. So let's go ahead or Boot Manager application. So let's go ahead and click on that. And hit install. Hit accept. And we'll wait for that to install on the system. And then we're going to hit open on it and make sure it's actually functioning properly. And they should be asking you for super user permissions. And we're just going to hit grant. And then we should be good to go now. Now our next step that we want to do is we want to go back to our computer, and then we want to make sure that we have downloaded or successfully downloaded our Kali Linux image. So as you can see, I have mine right here, the Nethunter. And what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and transfer that over to our Nexus device. So we have our Nexus device right here, and we're going to go ahead and click on that device, hit internal storage, and we're going to go ahead and drop it right in the root folder. Now, if you did experience some issues initially when you were trying to put it on there, I know there was like a little clip there or a little cut. I had some issues with it, but simply unplug and replug the device, and that should allow you to view the files on the device again. So we're going to our Nexus Kali image again, and here we go, copy, and we're going to go ahead and drop that smack down in the middle and let that transfer over to the system. And we'll pause now and we'll wait till it's finished. Alright, so the files have fully transferred over to the actual device itself. As you can see, everything's good to go there. So our next step that we want to do is we want to go back into our main device. We're going to open up TWRP Manager. And then we want to do a couple things here. What we want to do is we actually want to make sure that we have a recovery installed onto this computer or installed onto the Nexus device. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on device name, and then we make sure we select our Nexus device. And so once we do that, we'll hit recovery version to install, and we'll just click 3.0, and we're going to hit install recovery. And it's going to go ahead and do its thing. Now at this point, it's asking us to basically saying it was a success, flash recovery was successful. Would you like to attempt rebooting to recovery now? So we're going to go ahead and hit yes on this. And while we're doing this, we're going to go ahead and actually flash the device with the Kali Linux images. So we're going to go hit yes on this. And so the device should be rebooting now.
So at this point, the initial setup menu is going to come up, and we've kind of sped up the video just for the sake of the time of the tutorial. But in essence, you're selecting the language is English, and then so I had a little issue with actually getting this to work, so I connected my mouse. But you're selecting English, and then you're actually going to go ahead and load a recovery onto the device itself. And then once you see that menu there, what you're going to do is you're going to scroll down to the actual zip file that we had, which is the Kali Linux one. Scroll, and then it's going to load it up. At this point, the instructions in essence are going to ask you hit agree, do you agree with the terms of use, etc. And then at this point, it's actually loading up the Kali Linux image onto the device.
Alright guys, so if the process was successful, and when you do boot your device, you should be seeing the Kali Nethunter wallpaper in the back, and when you unlock the device, very similar to how your Android device was, but once you start looking around, you can actually see some of the applications that are available for you. And we will for sure be going more in depth on this channel with some of those capabilities of this device. And of course guys, if you have any questions for me, feel free to leave them below on the comments box. I do apologize again for some of the video quality when we were capturing the device offline. You know, I wanted to do this tutorial kind of on the fly, so if any errors that I got, you guys could see, and maybe you guys got the same errors as well, and I can help you fix them as well. But if you ran into some of the errors, guys, feel free to leave comments below. I'll try to get back to you. And subscribe to the channel if you guys like the videos. I appreciate your time, guys. Take care. Peace.